This is the Brazoria County Minute. And now the host of the Brazoria County Minute, Christen English.
Hi, I'm Christen English. I'm with eXp Realty, and I'm here in the Be Remembered Studios in Lake Jackson, Texas. And today, my guest is a friend of mine, Leigh Fry. She is with BACH, and I just love her. I'm excited to have her here today. I met her several years ago. She was a referral from another client in real estate, and her family quickly became friends of my family. We just love them. They're precious people, and I love the work that she does at BACH. And if you are not familiar with this nonprofit organization, you're going to love hearing about it today. It's really special, and it's just a great asset to our community. So, Leigh, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I can, and thank you for having me. First of all, I've enjoyed being our friendship. I've enjoyed being friends with you, and my whole family is in houses because of Christen. So, and we might be frequent movers even.
That's okay. The real estate business appreciates that.
We are frequent customers. But I am Leigh Fry. I am the executive director at BACH. I am a mom. I am a grandmother to two beautiful little girls, and we have another one on the way. We have a little boy on the way.
Going to mix things up a little bit?
We are. I'm a boy mom, so I am pumped to add a boy to the mix because I've had to learn how to do ponytails and things that I didn't do with little boys, and I know what to do with boys. So I'm really pumped for our little guy to join the family in October. And I have a wonderful husband. We attend Lake Jackson Church of Christ here in town, and are part of the leadership of that congregation, and just an honor to be part of that. And then the executive director at BACH.
And so how long have you been there?
Actually, 2 years this month. I'm celebrating my second anniversary.
Okay,
It's been an amazing 2 years, too.
So for those that might be watching who've never heard of it and don't know what it is, just tell us an overview of what the organization is about.
Sure. So we go by the acronym BACH. It's a very long name. It is Brazoria County Association for Children's Habilitation.
That is long.
It is so long, and a lot of people don't know what BACH is, and so we have to go through the long name. But we actually have two programs within BACH. The first program is our Buster's Kids program. Okay. It's an on-site clinic where we provide services to any child birth to 21. So we mirror that school age. So children with some type of developmental delay. We provide occupational therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy. They're in the clinic. Okay. And so a child, like I said, can come to us birth to 21 years old. Then we also have the Early Childhood Intervention Program, and that's a really unique program where we actually partner with the families and we go into their home. That program is birth to 3 years old. Okay. It is a part of the IDEA school type program. It falls under that umbrella. The funding is through Health and Human Services. Okay. So it's just birth to 3 years old. It's that critical 3-year period where kids are really gaining all of those skills. Mm-hmm. And it is, it's proven that early intervention helps. So kids with developmental delays, sometimes it can be something temporary. If our therapists can jump in and work with them, it makes a big difference in the kids. Now, that program has occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy. We also have a nutritionist, and we have what's called early intervention specialists. Okay. And so the early intervention specialists, they can just work with the family on basic things. We don't ever want to assume that any family has all the skills that they would like to have with their kids. So really, a lot of times it's coaching parents to really interact with their kids. We saw during COVID, we're now seeing the results of COVID with a lot of the kids who weren't socialized. We had babies who never went out in public for 2 years. And so their ability to socialize, they get very overwhelmed in public.
Overstimulation.
Yes.
And then, being around people that they don't know. Yes. Because what is that part of a toddler's early childhood development where you began to see there's a world outside yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And then if you don't see what's familiar, then you think it doesn't exist,
Yeah.
So them being thrown out
Yes.
into that, I can see where that would be
lots of speech
overwhelming.
delays as a result of that.
Okay.
Not getting to do that and identify that there is a world outside of me
Right.
other than my mom and my dad and
Yeah.
maybe a sibling or two.
Right.
It just has been overwhelming for the kids. And so speech has been just in incredible demand in both programs, but
Okay.
especially in the ECI program.
So if someone has a child now who is struggling with that, so BACH is someone they can reach out to for that
yes.
help.
And you can choose your program. So
Okay.
just because your child is birth to 3 years old, you might prefer the clinic setting where you bring the child in, they go and they sit and
so
work
whatever is
with,
best for your
Yes,
family.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we actually have families that do both programs.
Okay.
So you can actually do both.
I've heard some testimonies of people who have been a part, had a child in the program for many years ago even, and hearing them say that, finding out this diagnosis of some sort of an issue with their child can be so overwhelming, and how, the BACH program is so special and dear to their hearts because they came in and helped them. Because sometimes when you're overwhelmed with a situation, you can't even think in ways that you normally could have if you weren't overwhelmed. And having that support to step in was so beneficial to them. So,
we hear a lot of the parents say there's so much information coming at them, especially when there's an early diagnosis.
Right.
And it's not something that you anticipated.
Yeah, you
at
didn't see it
birth.
coming.
You
Yeah.
didn't see that coming. All kinds of things. And just the onslaught of information, and to be able to sit down with an organization who will walk you through that and help you understand all those pieces and provide the much needed therapy and really just assistance, just to walk beside them means a lot. It's been so fun to me over the last 2 years to meet people, because it is very rare that I go to an event or a club meeting or something where somebody doesn't come up to me and say, I had a BACH baby. Everybody calls them BACH babies. And I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I've just met hundreds of people who said, yes, my child who's now 25 was a BACH baby. So we celebrated our 50th. This is our 50th anniversary. So we've seen a lot of people over the years.
Yes. So I was there at the anniversary gala, and I got to see just the photos that you guys had displayed from the years.
Yeah,
I really
that was cool,
enjoyed that.
wasn't it?
Yes. I mean, I saw some familiar faces in there from a long time ago. I saw some. I thought, oh, that little kid looks familiar. Look a little closer. Oh, I actually know them as an adult, and just it was really cool to see how
And the old equipment in some of those photos was fascinating to us. When we started pulling out photos, we were like, wow, look at that equipment from 40 years ago.
What a legacy.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
Okay, so is there anything else that you feel like that we haven't already covered that people should know about BACH? Anything? You said what you feel like, or some of the things that you love. Is there anything that we haven't covered there that you would like people to know?
I think it's important for people to understand that we are a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. Because we want to make sure that all kids receive services regardless of their ability to pay.
Or even, what about insurance?
Right, we do accept insurance.
But if someone does not have
If someone does not, we want them to come to us, and we want to sit down with them and figure out what we can do to help. And that's really where the community comes in. I was talking to a gentleman earlier, and we were talking about just the deductible alone. Think of having a child with a lifelong diagnosis that's going to impact them for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And depending on where you work and what your deductible may be, you're looking at $10,000 a year, easy.
And we're seeing much higher deductibles now.
Yes, the deductibles are just shooting up. And so it can be, depending on everybody's situation, it can just be such a hardship. So
and
we
it would be
provide those services.
Yeah, and it would be so sad for a child not to get the help that they need that could help them in the future, help them move forward in the future, that it would delay them for the rest of their life just because of a financial.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, we talked about, how BACH's been around for a long time, and seeing the pictures from before with the older equipment. What are some ways that BACH has grown over the years? I know you've only been there a couple of years, but what are some of the things that you've seen how have they grown because of the community?
Yeah. The evolution of BACH is really fascinating because at one point in time, years ago, they had an adult, it was called work hardening program. So adults who may be working at Dow who were injured on the job would come in and do therapy.
Okay.
So it's had quite the evolution, but I think the board of directors have, my understanding and my current board, the heart has always been for the kids. And so at one point they migrated away from working with the adults in that program because it was the kids that really tugged at their hearts. And Buster Curry, who was quite a legacy for the organization, and actually it was his donation that got the Buster's Kids Clinic up and going. That was his heartbeat too, because he had a child who had disabilities. And so it just, that was where the board was. And now it's really cool to sit in a meeting with the board of directors and hear their hearts because it's that same heartbeat.
Yeah, that's
when
awesome.
we talk about, funding and how difficult maybe a certain month has been, that donations have been low and it's really difficult to serve kids, man, they come to the table because they're going to figure out a way to make sure that kids are served. So I think that's important for the community to know that behind the scenes, there's this incredible board of directors who have their eyes on the kids. And there's never a moment that that's not their focus. They do not lose their focus. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, and I think that heart shows throughout the organization.
It does. It's a really cool place to be. I think you have to love kids and love that environment. Very few of us ever close our office doors. We don't have a lot of offices there because our administration is very, very small. But even when the kids are having a bad day, because sometimes they come in the door and they don't necessarily want to go to physical therapy because it's hard.
Right.
And we have a lot of tears. We have meltdowns, but we also have, when it's over, they come out and they're just so proud and excited
Lots
of what
of celebrations too sometimes.
And we laugh and we talk about that. Our office doors are always open despite the chaos because it is what we do, and it's really music to our ears because we know the hard work that we're doing is bringing the kids in the door, even when it's a hard morning and they're crying.
Yeah.
But it's always the coolest thing to watch them come back out of clinic, and they're just smiling and happy.
It makes it all worth it.
Yeah, they've made progress.
That's
so
awesome.
It's really cool. Yeah.
So what would you and maybe even the board of the directors, do you guys have a vision for BACH in the future? Or is there a way that you would like to see it grow immediately or an area that you could be servicing that you currently aren't able to?
Our growth has been phenomenal. Even through COVID, they did a great job to press forward. And we're just busting at the seams. Like, we don't have enough clinic space, and that's something we're going to have to look at some point in time. It's not on the table right now. It's just a conversation that we're having, like, how are we going to continue to serve this volume of kids, especially speech therapy? I could easily have 10 speech therapists in both the ECI program and the BK program, and it not be enough.
Wow.
And I don't have, speech therapy, especially in the clinic, you have to have a little room to yourself. We don't have that kind of space. So we have to, at some point in time, address that and figure out where we're going to go with that. We've added some really cool partnerships that have been amazing. One of them is actually your sister-in-law.
Yes, we're very proud of her.
Oh,
She's
man.
amazing.
So I was introduced to Tiffany, and I've been blown away by her heart for kids and what she does.
She definitely has a passion.
It is amazing. And so she does the ABA program, which is, it helps parents address behavior issues with kids. And you talk about a cool thing to have a parent come in who's really been struggling with, especially children who have autism. That seems to be one of the key areas. And to hear her, because I get to hear her. She sits in we created this space for her in our conference room. And so I get to hear the interactions, and she absolutely works magic. And so we just did a little bartering. We gave her a space, and in turn, she works with some of our kids in clinic that we might be struggling with. So she brings clients in, but she also helps us with our kids. And so that has been a phenomenal area of growth. It has helped the clinic so much.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love partnerships and being able to work together. And I see that happening in our community all the time. And I love that.
I do too. And I don't want to repeat what somebody's already the professional at. Like, I don't want to create that program because she's already created it. And if y'all don't know her and you have kids out there that need behavior intervention, you can actually call our office even, and we'll connect you. Because it's an incredible program. And I've taught special ed for years, so I've seen ABA a lot. And I've never seen anybody as good as she is. That's
I do
not
believe
an exaggeration.
She has a God-given passion and just, I don't know if talent is the right word, but there's something there that's very special.
It is.
I see it in her. So
yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So how can our community help BACH with its current status and with its growth for the future?
There are so many ways, so y'all buckle up and take notes because it's really important. So basic things, like every month we put out a needs list, and it goes out on our social media and it goes out in our newsletter. We put out a monthly newsletter. So people can follow
you guys on social media.
Yes. And you can also sign up to receive our newsletter.
Okay,
and
I get that.
The needs list will be in there, and it also just gives you an update on stories and lets you know how kids are doing. We try to do a story about a child in there because that's what your dollars are going toward.
Yeah.
But needs like additional therapy equipment. It may be something minor like bubbles. Like we're not asking for a $500 piece of equipment. Most of the time, we're asking like for little fruit snacks because that is a huge motivator in clinic, and bubbles and just basic things like that. So watch for that. We also do a mailer twice a year. So during the summer, which that will be coming up, we will send out a request for financial support, letting the community know here's where we are, here's what we need. And that goes straight to therapy. So we're super proud that 97 cents of every dollar you donate goes into therapy.
Wow, that's
it doesn't
a lot.
go to administration. It goes
That's
straight
wonderful.
to working with the children in some capacity, that therapy. So watch for that mailer, and then there's one at the New Year time, at the holiday time. We also have 2 fundraisers a year. So you mentioned our gala, which was really fun. We tried really hard this year to provide something for the community that was different, and we had comedians come in, and I
was there. It was a lot of fun.
It was, my development director, Ashley, and I talked about, we wanted to give the community something different, and we wanted to thank them for 50 years of support. And we thought, what better way than to just have fun and entertain them? And the feedback we've gotten has been tremendous. So we're going to stay in that vein and continue to have some type of entertainment for the community. And we're really excited about that. We haven't exactly landed on what it'll be next February, but we've got some cool ideas. And then we're doing something new. So this July, it is going to be July 13th, we're doing a Taste of Brazoria County.
Okay.
And so we're partnering with local restaurants and asking them to come in. It's going to be out at the fairgrounds in the, I never remember the name of the big room.
The one we talked about earlier.
Yes,
I never remember the name of that either.
Whatever. It's the biggest room out there. Just know that.
Yes.
And so having local restaurants come in and provide samples. So we're having at least 30 restaurants come in. It's going to be a great
local
time.
restaurants.
Yes, local restaurants.
Okay.
Yes, we've got some from Pearland. We've got Angleton. We've got obviously Clute, Lake Jackson, the whole area, Danbury. We've got some great restaurants.
Awesome.
I know we're so excited. We've got some really cool food coming in. We do have a couple of vendor spots left. It doesn't cost the restaurants anything to come in and participate. We're just asking you to provide samples. But, as a community member, when you come in and there's 30 restaurants providing, a good size sample, that's a lot of food.
Yes.
And so
maybe bring some Tupperware to take home some stuff with you.
Take home some stuff. We have Del Papa out of who provides beverages in this area.
Okay.
They're one of our sponsors. They're right now our lead sponsor.
Awesome.
And they're going to be there giving out free samples as well. There is a VIP ticket that's $50, and the VIP time is 4 to 5. So if you want to beat the crowd, and you can stay, you don't have to leave at 5, but there is a time just for VIP.
Okay.
It's open bar and just unlimited food for you.
Okay.
There are pre-sale tickets for $20, and that includes all the food you can eat and then 2 beverages.
Okay.
And that's $20 until June the 13th. After the 13th, the tickets go up to $25, and you can purchase them ahead of time, and you can also purchase at the door.
Okay.
So we're really, really, really excited about this. It's going to just be another fun way to thank the community and introduce new people to the work that we do at BACH.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're also there's going to be a raffle there. So the organization has purchased a $50 gift card from every restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And we're raffling off a gift card tree. So you will get the winner will get a $50 gift card from every single restaurant.
Wow.
So it's a lot of, it'll be a cool raffle. So,
keep you covered in eating out and date nights for the year.
We'll start selling those raffle tickets sometime in June. We'll announce it on Facebook. So.
And so did you already say how people can go and get their tickets for this event?
You can go to our website.
Okay.
It's also on our social media pages.
Okay.
There's links there that you can go to. But you can go directly to our website and purchase tickets like that.
Okay, so we'll get the places they can go posted up on the screen for this.
Okay, great.
So that they can go there and follow on social media, sign up for the newsletter, buy tickets for the events, and just come out and support.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun too. I mean, who doesn't like to eat, right?
Exactly. We actually, Ashley and I traveled around and attended some of these far off in other communities, and it was the coolest thing. Like it was impossible for me to try a sample from every single one because it was so much
That's why
food.
you got to bring your Tupperware.
Exactly. You come with an empty stomach.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this has been fun, and I hope that this is helpful to BACH for other people to find out what's going on, or if they've forgotten about them to be reminded.
It will be. God will bless this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Brazoria County Minute is brought to you by BeRemembered.us. Tell your story. Be remembered.